And we out here kicking it with Mile High Minute in Denver, you feel me? All the way from Boerum block, man. You dig?
Mile High Minute, #1 podcast in the universe. We live in Denver, Colorado with Gambino, man. What's the word?
What's going on, my G? Appreciate you having me, man, for real, man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? We out here in Denver, this crazy.
Nah, for real. You in and out, right? You just come in here and you bouncing tomorrow morning, right?
Yeah, tomorrow we flying out to LA and shit like that. We got like a little 6 city tour right now and stuff like that, so
that's dope.
It's crazy, yeah. This I think it's our third one of the year. From third or fourth of the year.
Interview?
Tour.
City. Okay.
Yeah. So every time we drop, so right now we about to drop Brioni. Next couple weeks we just put out the new single. Shout out Cousin Feek and Hit Slim, those my dogs in Vallejo. But
yeah,
we just put out the single. So right now we got a little tour going on and stuff. So
no, that's dope.
Going crazy, man.
What brought you? I guess. Well, first let me ask this: what you got going on in LA? You got any interviews or any other collabs, videos? What you got going on?
So we got an interview locked in LA too. We trying to get some shows and stuff, but shows be hard to find and shit, but I ain't tripping. But we got an interview in LA, so and then we just out there kicking it.
Hell yeah, man.
For sure, man.
What made you want to come to Denver?
A different city, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we hit almost every major city here. You know what I mean? There's only probably like 2-3 left. Right. You know what I mean? So I knew eventually I gotta come down to Denver.
No, fair.
And then just pretty much for me, the way I make my decisions, like on where to go, is just try to see where I don't have an audience yet. You know what I mean? I go there, tap in, like a platform like yourself, one of the biggest platforms here in Denver, if not the biggest platform. And you know what I mean? Just start from there. You know what I mean? Then every time we go out, come back around, then we just grow. You know what I mean? So for sure, man.
Yeah. Well, shit, this is our first interview, so let's get into your life story, man. Originally from New York, right?
Yeah,
Born and raised?
Born block.
Brooklyn?
Yeah, so Brooklyn, New York, Boerum block. That's like Beverage projects, but we call it Boerum block.
Okay, what was it like growing up out there?
It's just the trenches, man. Like same bullshit. The same obstacles, pretty much that you fighting in every other city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's the biggest thing I say with my music is that it resonate with people in those areas. Right. You know what I mean? Because if you honestly look at it, like we all go through the same thing. It might be a different setup or different house structure, whatever the case may be, but we all go through the everyday struggles. You know what I mean? Trying to survive, trying to overcome the odds and make it out of the poverty situations we in. So, Boerum Block Bringing Project is just another one of those trenches.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. So growing up, were you, before the music and stuff, were you playing sports or anything, or like what were you into?
Nah, I ain't going front. So we wasn't doing any of that. Probably like 12, 13, we start going outside and we start having fun outside. You know what I mean? We hanging out with the older dudes and we start picking up things that they doing. And I think even as a young age, man, my ambition was trying to get some money. You know what I mean? My parents were hustlers. My pops was a big hustler out there. My mom used to braid hair for money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that hustle is from the family. I just so happened 12, 13 was outside. I want to be with the older dudes and trying to find a way to get some money out there. But
yeah. Did you want to become an artist at all when you were younger, or were your eyes set on another type of career, or like?
Nah, I love music, man. All my life I love music. My pops was a big 90s music head. Mm-hmm. So growing up, that was kind of all we listened to. And I always felt like I could be an artist. I just felt like I was going to get criticized for trying to shoot for that.
Yeah.
Where we from, people don't really shoot for dreams. You know what I mean? I know it's like a funny way to say, but nobody's over here like, I'm going to be that and then actually do it. You don't see it, you know what I mean? Especially where we from, so that's not something that we even see going on. So I kind of pushed that to the back. And it was more like, yo, we just going to try to survive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Okay. Coming from New York, I mean, that's what basically the birthplace of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So, at a young age, is there a lot of people that support New York music and shit like that out there, like your Jay-Z's, and obviously all the other legends
the big one
that
legends.
come from there?
Definitely, man. New York love New York artists. Once you're there,
right?
You know what I mean. That build up level is a different respect and approach for those artists. But once you get there, that's when the embrace starts, as in probably every other city. But yeah, definitely like the Jay-Z's, the Bigs, the Big L Stack Bundles. Like, we love those guys forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What they did for the city was incredible. So that's definitely something that even me in my career path I want. You know, I want that people come out to Brooklyn like, oh, this where Bino from. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
or New York, oh, this New York hottest artist out. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I definitely want that same support.
No, that's dope. Okay. Now, what about, like, you know, coming from Denver, you know, we've had artists do major things, but you don't really, like, just know off the top of your head, like, a Denver rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do if you're out here, obviously, but, like, you know, but everyone knows, like you said, the Biggies, the Jay-Z's, I mean, I could keep going, the Bobby Shmurdas, Nicki Minaj, like, there's so many coming out of New York, so a lot of people will say, you know, oh, if I was from out here, they'll be like, oh, if I was from another city, you know, I'll be popping right now. Coming from a place like New York, where a lot of artists have made it, at least from an outside-in perspective, do you feel like it's easier or harder to make it in a market like New York? Because I could see where, yeah, New York has, like, a lot of major platforms and major artists and labels, but at the same time, it's probably a lot more people too, and a lot more competition. So, like, what are some of the pros and cons, I guess, or is it harder or easier to come out of a place like New York?
I think it definitely is harder in a sense, because it is a big market. Like, for one, it's one of the biggest markets in the game.
Right.
It's a mandatory market to have, but there is a lot of people trying to get in New York, and then I think the biggest thing, especially with the industry we're in now, it's not about the music. It's not about the artists. It's not about none of that. It's about the image. You know what I mean? It's about the following. Right. You know, it's so much less than based off the music. You know what I mean? So I think that makes it even harder, no matter where you're coming from. You know what I mean? But especially in New York, like, we can't get those funk flex drops. We can't get those big drops on the radio stations if we don't have a following. You know what I mean? Which is crazy, because it could be the dopest record ever. You know what I mean? But if you don't got the following behind it, it just bypasses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like it's definitely hard to come out of New York, but it goes based on the artist's approach. You know, like, I'm not big on trying to get my own city. You know what I mean? Like, my city is the biggest place where my records get streamed and played and stuff like that, but I'm focused on getting everywhere else but my city. You know what I mean? Because then my city embraces after everybody else, which is normally how I go. Right. You know what I mean? So I guess if you're an artist like myself, like, the intention is not even to take over New York, it's pretty much to get everywhere.
That's real. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Couple quick questions about some artists out there. Bobby Shmurda, how was it when, like, he got out, and what was his wave like for y'all? Because I know we was bumping him crazy even out here and shit.
Oh yeah, so. Shmurda went crazy. Yeah. Like, he was a fresh breath of like, just new air coming in the game. You know what I mean? And I think for Brooklyn, it's super dope and even motivating. You know what I mean? To see them young guys come up and do something. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate, you know, the after effects and stuff like that, but I think what they did was incredible. You know what I mean? There's a lot of dope Brooklyn artists that's coming in and doing things. You know, I think it's really just the city has to get behind them and stay behind them. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of what I admire about the Atlanta in a way. You know what I mean? The way they kind of together, or at least it looks like they're together. Right. That's incredible. You know, my city can't be like that. You know, everybody, the hate is nonsense, you know?
No, that's real. Okay. And then, I know you may not like this question, but, like, how was it for, like, New Yorkers during, like, the 6ix9ine period? You know what I'm saying? I know, I guess he's still kind of around, but, like, he was more so popping in recent years. due to a lot of like wild shit.
A lot of shenanigans.
So like, as a fellow New Yorker, how did you feel about that? Because I know it kind of goes into what you were saying earlier when you're talking about, you know, it's not just about the rapping nowadays. It's a lot to do with
image and everything. Yeah, that was a perfect. He's one of those guys. But nah, I mean, I think what he did city-wise, like, was crazy. You know what I mean? Like, the attention he grabbed. You know what I mean? He actually like found the right market and expanded it crazy, you know what I mean? And then he got a lot of people looking at New York, you know. Being from New York and being from outside, you know, we kind of know people in those circles. So you kind of know, like, certain people ain't the image that's being portrayed, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, you know, it's a time frame on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's just not real, you know? We learned that growing up. Like, if it's not genuine, if it's not real, it's not gonna last long. You know, no matter how long they put up the facade, it's not gonna last long. So, I mean, it was great. I think everyone outside of New York kind of felt like New York was really behind them. I don't think we really was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just me speaking as like a fan of hip hop. I don't feel like he had that New York push. You know what I mean? Like, they had the marketing budget obviously and everything like that, but he didn't have them diehard fans.
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
Okay. Now, let's. I'm trying to think. My bad. I'm gonna ask one more question about the New York scene, just because I'm interested.
Yeah.
And I haven't really had a chance to ask anyone of these questions. How do you feel about the current state of the New York scene? Because, like, obviously y'all kind of birthed hip hop in a way. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, I don't know, from what I've been hearing from like the hip hop scene as a whole nationally, it seems like some people may be feeling like New York kind of, not necessarily all the way fell off, but kind of just like there wasn't some like new shit that was coming out, you know, or like there's periods of times where New York artists might not be coming out as hard as they did originally when hip hop first came out, or like even when you had your little eras like the Bobby Shmurdas and Nicki Minaj's and Jay-Z's, as of more recent, I suppose. So, like, how do you feel about the current state of the New York scene, and like, where do you feel like it's going?
I think there's no the issue with it is there's no originality. I think that's the biggest issue.
Are you talking about like the drill?
Nah, just the New York scene in general. Because you got artists are coming out trying to sound like the South. And then with that is like the Atlanta, really. You know, artists are trying to sound like Atlanta because that's kind of like a ticket in as they see it.
Yeah.
And then
Atlanta's one of those, like, especially as of recent,
they got it. You know what I mean? And the drill is off of Chicago.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a twist, but it's off of Chicago. So I feel like the reason why we had the crazy era, even in the 90s approach or early 2000s, is because everyone sounded like themselves in a sense. Right. You know, you had 50 sounding like 50. Ja sounded like Ja, which he was making chick records and stuff like that. But that's Ja. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, I'm going to sound like this guy to try to get on. Yeah. So I really think that's what the issue is as far as New York scene. And that's kind of one of the things that's preventing us from being one of the top guys out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like we're not it. You know what I mean? To be honest.
I feel you. You know, coming from Denver, y'all are definitely it, just because, like, y'all have done so much more shit. But it does seem like right now, like, the Detroits, Atlantas,
Chicago,
even LA, Chicago, like, they kind of have the wave right now. I feel like New York had the wave earlier. And I'm outside in perspective, so I don't even... You know, take my opinion with a grain of salt.
Nah, but it's an honest opinion. Like, it's a good opinion if you look at, because you say New York is great, but if you look at like the last 5-6 years,
it's not like what it was.
Yeah, like rest in peace, Pop Smoke.
Pop Smoke was
hard coming out. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate,
right?
But Pop Smoke came in hard, and that was a great thing for New York there.
Facts.
And you know what I mean? It's unfortunate, but. I think if people could come out sounding like themselves and stick with it and really, you know, stand behind it, it'd be good.
I get kind of confused. Like, I get why people say New York drill, but to me, it's like, yeah, you can kind of see how it goes off Chicago in a way, but it's more. It seems more upbeat, like more of a vibe type shit when it comes to New York drill. So I don't even necessarily like look at it as the exact same genre, but everyone calls it that, so I can see why everyone compares.
It's like it's like it's a playoff, I could say. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's definitely the up tempo is more of a swaggy movements with it. Everybody like you know, so it got the kids going crazy.
But even out here in Denver, we deal with a lot of similar issues. They don't even necessarily have to be issues, but just similar things where like a lot of artists, they'll say, oh, he sounds like he's from Detroit, or he sounds like he's from Cali, because we right in the middle of both cities.
Yeah.
And Detroit's hot right now, and we collab with a bunch of Detroit artists. And then we're close to the West Coast, LA. A lot of our politics come from LA and shit like that. So it's interesting how you say that, because New York has even like gotten like hit good numbers and stuff. Like, you got popping artists, even though it may be a New York drill or what have you. But even Denver, it's like we're trying. I don't know. I feel like if we were more original as well, basically, is what I'm saying, and I feel like we would be more successful too.
Yeah.
But I want to get back into your story. So, and excuse me if I pronounce this wrong, but Boerum projects.
Boerum
projects. Okay. Talk about those projects a little bit. Has there been any like rappers besides yourself that's came out there? Or?
Nah, we got a few. Like there's a few rappers over there. Shout out Chewy. I'm trying to think off the head. I don't want to forget nobody, but there's a few of them really out there. You know what I mean? Grinding and stuff. But we haven't had nobody really pop. You know what I mean, strong. But you know, like I feel like I'm gonna be the first one to pop. Especially coming out of there, you know what I mean? Because I think our story is so real. You know what I mean? Like we really a projects there, so you know, I think everything with it, people gonna come out, see it, wanna, you know what I mean, walk through it and stuff, like the regular crazy things. But I think what we gonna have for the game is gonna be great. You know what I'm saying? It might take us a little long coming from where we from, but we gonna get in that shit.
That's dope. Hell yeah. And then Boerum block, which you brought up earlier, specifically, and then this is in the Bushwick in Brooklyn.
Yeah. So broken off like sectionals pretty much. Okay. So we from Brooklyn as a whole, and then section wise we from the Bushwick section of Brooklyn.
Is that like a neighborhood in Brooklyn?
Yeah. So nah, it's probably like maybe like 30, 40 blocks, like surrounding. Think of like South
New York's
Chicago.
So big, so like,
it's hard. It's crazy
compared to Denver.
Because Brooklyn, you got like Bushwick, you got Williamsburg, you got Bed-Stuy. These are all different sections. Then within the sections, you got mad projects and stuff like that. So we from right over there by Graham Avenue. If you know the strip, y'all know Boerum.
Okay. Talking about Brooklyn, who are some of the artists that have come out of Brooklyn, like the major artists?
So we spoke on Pop, Pop Smoke. You got Big Daddy Kane. You got Big J. Who was like some big ones? Smurda. The whole camp came out of Brooklyn.
So a lot of the main artists from New York come out of Brooklyn.
Yeah. Brooklyn, Queens.
That's dope.
Yeah. And then the Bronx right now too. They got a lot coming out of the Bronx.
Okay, just on some random shit with the sports. Is the Brooklyn Nets, are they in Brooklyn or are they still in New Jersey? Okay.
Nah, yeah. So Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn.
Okay.
They right
They built like a new arena in Brooklyn? Or?
Yeah. Well, the Jersey one they got rid of, but they got the Barclays Center is like dead downtown.
Okay. And then like, so do you have a bunch of different downtowns, like kind of like LA, where it's like you got a Brooklyn downtown and then a New York City, and like
type thing, yeah.
I need to go to New York. I've really been wanting to so bad because I can't even imagine how big it is.
You gotta check. But you know, downtown pretty much could be anywhere, cause you could be 100 something and like downtown. Yeah. It could be anything downtown. It's not like Denver downtown is an area.
Right. Yeah.
Downtown for us is anything downtown, literally. Yeah. Like if you're on 100th Street, 70s could be downtown, like it's not like a specific area, it's like downtown Manhattan or nothing like that.
Yeah.
Like our area downtown too could go into like Fort Greene side, like it's crazy.
Hell yeah. Okay. So we talked a little about life before music and like stuff like that. How was school? Like, did you graduate? Did you stop going? Like,
Yeah.
what was that process like?
So school was great. I went to Williamsburg Charter High School.
Okay.
That's in Brooklyn, and it was great, man. Like, I ain't gonna front. Like, I was one of the top kids coming out of there. You know what I mean? Like, I was on honor roll and all that stuff. The only issue was I was beating people up all the time. You know what I mean? Like, that was my only issue. Yeah, like, I ain't take no disrespect at all. That was my only thing. Like, they didn't really like me for that, but like, they couldn't say much because I was at the top of my classes. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, yo, I don't care what it is, just don't disrespect me anyway. That's it. You know what I mean? And teachers, that go for everybody. So, but yeah, I killed them. I was always top of my class. You know what I mean? That was the only thing I always got in trouble for, though. My mom's come up, she'd be like, well, y'all know how he is already. Like, and then I went to Buffalo State. I was there for a little bit. Probably like, yeah, I was there probably like a month. I wasn't feeling it. I came back home. Cause when I was out there, it was like a transition. Like, when we was home, we was getting money when we was home. So I go up there and then it's like, everything slow down. I'm asking people for money now. You know what I mean? Asking my moms and them for bread, and grandma for bread. You start feeling bad because you're like, shit, man, I wasn't doing shit when I was home. Like, I'm fucking up. So after like a month, I ain't gonna front. Bro, my ass right back then. You know what I'm saying? Then, pardon me. We shit, what I did from there. I think I started doing music probably like a year after.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But I always wanted to do music though, man. I love music.
Oh, it was your dream?
Always my dream. I just wasn't sure about jumping in. You know what I mean? Cause especially us, like, we really outside and shit. You got niggas start looking at you like, oh, you trying to be a rapper, like, crazy. You know what I mean? That was honestly
that's
like,
how it always is when you try
fucking
to do something
crazy,
that's
bro.
Like out of the ordinary, I suppose. It's just not a regular job type shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm sure you probably work plenty of regular jobs. Right?
Huh? Yeah, hell yeah.
Everyone, you kind of have to get the
to try to get
going.
to where you're going. Yeah, hell yeah. Like, I be hating niggas be like, I ain't never working no job. Shit, nigga. I ain't got it like that. You know what I'm saying? We gonna hustle. We gonna make it do what it do. But even that, like, I feel like the game was we learned so many lessons. You know what I mean? Even at first, like, if you look at like my first video, my first show, we like 30, 40 deep. You know what I mean? Everybody mobbed up. And then you start seeing it all progress. Like, everybody ain't trying to be on that same type of wave as you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They think they are until they realize what comes with it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's crazy because I find it crazy because I be like, damn, I could hit my mans for some violence. You know what I mean? Like, yo, they fronting on me. Everybody's going. If I hit my man to post my video, I don't get a response.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that shit found crazy because I'm like, damn, bro, you want to do anything positive for me at all? Like, but you'll risk your life for me, but nothing positive. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, bro. I couldn't wrap my head around it, but that's kind of the reality. And then the more, as we going through stuff, we just learning. You know what I'm saying? So now every city just be me and my man Los. You know what I mean? He in the cut, by the way, too. You know what I mean? But that's all it be. You know what I mean? But it's lessons you learn.
No, facts. Okay. On some random shit, too, just because I'm a huge sports fan. Who are your, like, teams? Because I know New York got a bunch of teams.
Yeah, we got,
you into sports?
A team. Yeah. I fuck with.
You Jets, Giants, or?
Nah. So football wise, it's gonna be the home team. I don't got a specific.
Yeah.
Jets is disappointing a lot, but I don't got a. You know what I mean? I'm just New York fan. Now, baseball wise, I like the Yanks. Yanks are killing it. I like the Padres. Basketball wise, I like the Knicks because the Knicks are the underdogs.
Right.
But I do like my favorite player all time, Melo. And then
Melo, yeah, fucking Melo. He was out here for a minute, so everyone we fucking Melo.
I mean, yeah. That New York stint was like the best ever.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? But yeah, I'm a good sports person.
Oh yeah. Okay, bet, man. And then I guess what like inspired you, or what was that transition into finally saying, okay, I'm gonna actually try this music shit? Because I know you brought up that you always have had a passion for music, but for a minute you were kind of like, I don't know if I want to do this. So what was that transition into like, fuck it, I'm doing this? Like,
it was definitely having my daughter.
Okay.
Having my daughter, we was still doing like little stupid shit and shit like that. And I kind of just, I just sat down one night and I really just thought about it. You know what I mean? Being in the crib, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, like, I want to do this shit, but I'm so caught up in all this other nonsense and stuff like that. And, you know, I look at her and I'm like, shit, I imagine if she tell me she want to do something, you know what I mean? I want her to go for it, you know what I mean? No matter my opinion, so
right.
I can't tell her that, and I ain't doing it myself, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of just put everything on pause and we just went straight for the music. You know what I mean? We've been running shit like five years right now, and we ain't never take a break or nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Having a kids, man, that shit gotta be motivating.
Yeah, man, it's a life changer. You know what I mean? You start looking at other reasons to do stuff. You know what I mean? Because when you're young and you come from the places we come from, like, shit don't even matter. You know what I mean? Yo, we running down over there, shit, let's go right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
You have a kid, you like, nah, I ain't doing that. You know what I mean? Cause you got something to live for. You know what I'm saying? Before, you ain't have nothing. You know, it was just like respect and ego. You know, you have a kid and it's like, nah, I really want to be here to see her grow. I really want to, you know, understand and cherish life. You know what I mean? Before, you know, you don't care for this shit.
That's real.
You know what I mean?
I need to hear that. I'm about to have my first kid.
Yeah, congrats, man. What you having?
A boy.
Oh, congrats, man.
I appreciate that, man.
Hell yeah, man. Shit about to change everything.
Nah, facts. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay, man. So I wanted to talk about a couple of your projects. So you had Days on Boerum.
Mm-hmm.
That's my bad if I didn't pronounce
Nah, you good, yo.
Okay.
Everybody can't get that. I ain't gonna front nobody be getting that shit.
Days on Boerum and then Nights on Boerum.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Days and Nights.
They're both released on Christmas, 2021.
Last year. We dropping bitches on the same day, 2 albums.
What? That's a lot of work. That's a lot of music. What made you want to do that? I mean, I know, like, you know, Future, I think, did that at one point. You know, you have some artists doing that, but it's only like people you could tell that actually really care about their music, that are willing to put that much effort and time into two projects to drop like that. So
originally I got the idea from E40. So you know, shout out E40, old Vallejo. He did Revenue Retriever and Day Shift and Night Shift. He dropped them on the same day. You know, a couple years back. And I wound up coming across it, and I was like, shit, like, you know, I'm like, we ain't working hard enough. You know what I mean? Then I was already working on Nights on Boerum. And then we always recording. Like, I got my own studio in the crib, so we non-stop recording. So I called Los. I'm like, what you think about doing 2 albums? And he like, yo, you think, you know, you got enough for it? And I'm like, hell yeah. So what we wind up doing is I wind up just playing, because we got mad music. We going through the files and shit. I put together another album. We hearing this shit, I'm like, oh, yo, it's lit. You know what I mean? And then we dropped both of them bitches and it went crazy. You know what I mean? I think more of even before listening to it, the idea of, yo, he dropping 2 albums on the same day. You know what I mean? Like, how the fuck? Like, you know what I mean?
Don't have that ambition,
Yeah, you know what I mean? Or even want to. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think that shit was just, it was great to get a real reaction. You know what I mean? Like a genuine reaction from people. It wasn't like bought or, you know what I mean? People hear that shit and it's like, oh shit, like, this ain't working. You know what I mean? So that was one of the best things we did so far. And then even like the outcome wise, like, I think one of them was like 74,000 streams, and the other one I think is like 67 or something like that. But you could just see like they close enough to know that people are actually going from one album to the other to hear it. You know what I mean? Hear their favorite records or compare albums. You know what I'm saying? So I was just real appreciative of that. So shout out E40. You know what I mean? That was crazy ass idea. You know what I mean?
What was the vibes like for both of them? Because I'm assuming, you know, if you dropping 2 projects on the same day, you know, one is probably, you know, they both gotta have different vibes. So what was, I guess, the process behind both of the albums, and what were they both like?
Well, so the Nights on Boerum, it was more Nights on Boerum was more like an album. You know, like one of those that you can play from the beginning all the way to the end. And it's a vibe because you get different vibes on there as far as up tempo, calm. There's so much stuff we talking about. But everything that was based off of the Nights was gritty. You know what I mean? It was more like overcoming the odds and trying to pretty much give them motivation. You know what I'm saying? I think that's kind of what my music is based off of. But when we did Days was kind of straight bangers. You know what I mean? It wasn't really yo, we're gonna follow this way and kind of mellow out to the end or anything like that. It was like, yo, we're gonna give you bangers from the beginning to the end. You know what I mean? Because I look at it like I had one album for people that like to pick through records. You know, the other album was for people that just want to play something while they hit the road. You know what I mean? And rock out. You know what I mean? So I feel like what we did with that was incredible, just giving people two different viewpoints.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? But we had hella knockers on that shit, man.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, G.
What how many songs were on each project?
We did 10 and 10.
Okay.
So we hit them 20 on the same day. That shit was crazy.
I think that's a good number because it's like it's two different vibes. And 10 and 10 is kind of like that perfect number to where like it's a good amount of music, but it's also not gonna do too much for you where you feel like, okay, there's a couple throwaways on here. Like, okay, 10 songs, I can listen to that shit, you know what I'm saying?
Rock out. Figure 30, 35 minutes or something like that, you know what I mean? I think when I see artists that drop like 20-something records on the album, something, I mean, it's cool, you know what I mean? I'm not to be like, yo, that's crazy, but I just think the span of a person's mind frame with the music has shortened over the last 10 years.
Oh, yeah, with all the content and everything out now.
Yeah, because you figure records went from being 5 and 4 minutes to now 2 minutes.
2 minutes, 3 minutes.
You even have one hit wonders with 1 minute and 30. Even one hook wonders where people just know the hook on the record. And
you know that song Oh No?
Oh No.
The TikTok shit that was going viral where someone messed up.
Oh no, yeah.
He's from Denver.
Or?
Yeah, but like people wouldn't even know that, and that shit just viral off that one part. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like the span is so like I can't tell you anything else but that part. Yeah. Is that a full record?
Yeah, there's a full. I'll show it to you after the interview. You're gonna be like, damn.
That's crazy.
With him. He's hard, but that shit funny as hell.
That's crazy. No. But you see what I'm saying? Like the mind frame is so short. You know what I mean? So I don't think doing the 20-something, 18 records even makes sense. You know, at least for me as an artist. Yeah. You know, some people probably still, you know, making it happen. But I just think
you gotta be like a legend in the game
to be able to pull out.
Pull off that. Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Because you got to have a good balance, like you said. Like 10 I feel like 10 personally is good. Right. You know, 12 is kind of cutting it close. I feel like 8 and is like, it's maybe too late. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I do feel like around that mark. I always try to stay around 10 records.
Yeah, and even with like the Drake albums or the albums that are 20 songs, like there's a bunch of bangers on there, but then you also always got a couple that you're like. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just throwing that on there type shit. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but even then too, I think it don't even be more so about the music. I think the fans just be wanting to hear something new from the artist. True. You know, because you figure the artist probably ain't dropped in 2 years or something, so it's kind of like, oh, this is new. Fuck it, let's just run through it
and the hunger stage is probably kind of just over at that point. You already maybe. Okay, man. So we talked about those projects, dropped them on Christmas. I know we talked about this a little bit off camera, so I kind of wanted to touch on it. What has been your focus so far in your music career? Because it sounds like, you got some interviews done in different markets. You got some projects, dope features I saw actually with the last promo post we did.
Yeah, that's
what's been your process, and like what is going to be your process moving forward? You know what I'm saying, when it comes to the different, whether it be, are you going to drop some YouTube videos? Are you going to do more interviews? Like what's on the way and what has been your process?
I mean, even with like YouTube, I think in total right now, where we at, looks like probably like 70 something. We got like 70 something videos out.
Are they on like a lot of different platforms?
Nah, so I got them all on Los platform. If you go to Los platform, all my videos are there. That shit like my platform. Like
okay, because I was looking at your platform.
So the basement, the basement single is the first one I just dropped off my platform that I just started.
Okay. But, okay, now it makes sense because I was looking for your videos, bro. I couldn't find one. Where's this video?
But the
now
link
they're
tree,
all right here now. Okay.
Yeah, but if you go through the link tree on it, like on my page, all of them, I got the link off right to Los joint.
Damn, you have. I was sleeping. You have been working.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, you did an FBG Duck type beat 8 years ago. Yeah. Y'all was on that shit earlier.
I don't know, man. Los. Before even we shot videos, he was the first engineer I had too.
Don't understand. It's like 10K. You got a bunch of videos basically around 10K.
Yeah. I got some high, some low.
Organic.
Yeah.
Matt Hoffa. Yeah. Damn, that's hard. I've been trying to tap him in his interviews, going crazy.
I ended up doing that before he did the podcast. I met him in the strip club.
Really?
Yeah.
That's dope. I'm trying to tap in with bro, man. Okay, cool, man. But yeah, so it looks like you got a bunch of YouTube music videos out. You got projects out. Got interviews coming and out. What's next? What's the process next?
I think it's really trying to try to get so the goal is to try to either be able to sustain a good independent career, which is just being able to get a solid fan base in every city, which is kind of what we're shooting for.
Yeah.
Or be able to get a distribution deal. You know what I mean? I don't really want to sign to like a label or anything like that. Nah, I just feel like, in a sense, with what we doing, we kind of learning the game as we go.
Right.
You know what I mean? We building our own relationships, stuff like that. It don't really make sense to just let someone come in and, you know what I mean? Even though it's a bigger number that they bring to the table, I just feel like there's more we could do with us just being patient. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm not that thirsty to just jump into something. Like I know our shit gonna come. It's just gonna take time.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think with that mind frame, I know it's gonna work for us. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I think the biggest thing is just trying to get we could get them shows where we could open up for people. You know what I mean? We could open up for people that come to the city. You know what I mean? Anybody who got like a similar sound in a sense.
Right.
Because then, you know, it's kind of a similar approach. But that's kind of where we aiming for right now. Because everything else, like we do the interviews, every city we go to, if they got shows somewhere, we hitting the shows, tearing them down. And then, you know, video-wise, I feel like we got more videos than probably people's favorite rappers. You know what I mean?
Nah, facts. You got more videos than a lot of Denver rappers.
Yeah, freestyle videos. We drop freestyle videos probably every other couple weeks. If something new come out, we snatch that instrumental and drop it the same day. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I'm about to after this interview, I'm gonna send you a couple Colorado platforms, couple Colorado artists and studios.
Oh hell yeah!
You want to tap in with?
Is there more platforms out
here? There are. You know what I'm saying?
Cause I swear I did not. I know I reached, cause every city I reach out to like 2 or 3, and then see whoever hits back.
Right.
A lot of people don't be hitting back and shit, but
not even trying to be on no cocky shit, but if I'm just being 100% blunt, when it comes to like YouTube interviews and like Instagram promo and stuff, like I probably got the like most like followers and subscribers, but I think it's only because I've done what you guys have done, and like I've went out of state, done a bunch of interviews, and like I've done like 500 plus interviews with at least probably like 100 in state too. You know what I'm saying? I've done a lot of like the same shit y'all do. And I really don't even want to make this about myself, but like there are dope platforms out here though. Other than Muhammad, I feel like we all just learning though. You know what I'm saying? Like you said earlier, even me though, to an extent, it's like I'm cooling in the Mountain West region, but like I go to LA and I'm just a little guy. You know what I'm saying? I go to Texas, I'm a little guy, you know. So,
sure.
But yeah, man, you tapped into the right platform. But I'll still send you some.
I'll
send you my dog Rhino, cause he's out in New York, so you could, you know what I'm saying. He'll show you love, you know what I'm saying. Sure. And then I'll send you a couple studios and a couple artists I feel like you would sound dope with.
Okay.
But what I wanted to ask, since you brought up like your sound and shit, what kind of sound would you describe? You know, obviously from New York, but like, what would you describe as your sound or like your, you know what I'm saying, your lyricism and stuff like that?
Well, I mean, I feel like I'm super versatile as far as like we could pretty much do anything.
Yeah.
With that, I could do like, I feel like I'm a good old school, modern, and I feel like I sound like myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's not like I don't have any auto-tune records. I don't have any drill records. I don't make the emotional trap records. You know what I mean? Like I really feel like I sound like myself. In a sense where I'm from New York. You know what I mean? Right. But I feel like I sound like myself.
Yeah, on the records. Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to talk about your drink. So you got your own drink. Is it like an alcohol drink or what kind of drink?
Not alcoholic beverages. We got I got 5 flavors actually. I have iced tea, lemonade, grape, strawberry, and orange.
Okay.
And it's called Beano's, double M beverages.
That's dope.
And #1 drink in the trenches, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's my slogan. You know, we working on getting that worked out through the court system right now. I want nobody stealing that. But we in 25, I say 26 locations right now.
In New York?
In New York, yeah. And we shipping out everywhere, you know what I mean? So across the country, you know what I mean? Anybody just tap in with me and stuff like that. Shout out my dog Los. I don't know if you've seen or you heard of the platform. It's called Hood Vlogs.
Oh, yeah. They were actually out here a couple months ago. They were driving through some neighborhoods.
So Los did the Marcy edition.
Okay.
And Marcy edition, I think is over 500,000, probably 600,000 right now. And when my brother did the video, he wound up going to one of the stores that had the drinks. Oh, he was like, yo, this Beano's lemonade, you know what I'm saying? And he put it out there to the world. And we've been getting crazy hit-ups from that shit, you know what I mean? And people just see it. And I think not even about just the drinks, but just the fact that, like, you got a brother supporting his brother, right. You know what I mean, on one of the biggest platforms out there in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, who would not support that? You know what I'm saying? Right. So I definitely appreciate what he did for the drinks and stuff like that. So, but the drinks are going crazy, man. I think the idea of having something like that for people to connect with, besides obviously clothing or liquor, was exciting. You know what I'm saying? Something different.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we thought about it. Like, what can we do different? You know what I mean? I'm talking with him and I'm like, yo, what if we had like Beano's lemonade? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We laughing and shit, and then that shit sat on me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, shit, let me figure out what I could do. And we got the samples, and I'm like, yo, bro, we could really do this shit.
That's dope. Okay. And how did you? I mean, I guess you don't necessarily have to give the sauce, but like, how did you?
Got it done?
Yeah, make the juice, or like, what it is, just juices, like healthy juices, or just regular juices, or like?
Nah. So it's actual juice. No artificial flavoring. Sorry, no harmful chemicals or anything like that being made around the juice. But I'll give people the thing, because I always like try to motivate and help people. So anyone who wants to start their own business or feel like they don't have the funds to jump into it, what you do is you find a private label. Right? And you find a private label. For those that don't know what a private label is, you have businesses that make things. Let's say if it's mattresses you want to sell, then they make mattresses and they don't put a label on it. You work with them and they'll put your label on it, and that's your brand. So what you do is you build your brand. You know, so I wound up finding a private label with the drinks, and we wind up getting Beano's on there. And you know, I work with the distributor, and we out there shipping around the world right now. You know what I'm saying? So for anyone that's out there that wants to do something, like, and you don't have the startup funds, or you know, you lacking in certain areas, just focus on getting a private label, do your research, and build your brand up, and go out there and hustle, man.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? 'Cause when we got the drinks, I was like, I just want one store. I was like, if I can get one store, I'm gonna be the happiest motherfucker alive. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna talk so much shit, and we out there. And sure enough, me and my man Los, we was on fucking. You guys got city bikes out here?
So yeah.
So me and my man Los had glass cases on the fucking bikes, city bikes, and we hit every store, bro.
That's dope.
First store, no. Second store, no. Third store, no. I don't care. I'm gonna get one fucking store.
So, yeah.
We hit every store. Sure enough, my dog Los, we over there by Marcy. We got the first one in. Then we got another, then another, then another. And I was like, oh shit, we doing something. You know what I mean? So.
And people, just because it's in the store, they'll see it and be like, shit, I'll try it. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. Like, it's crazy because we be in the store and I see the drink there and I just see random people going to get the drink. You know what I mean? I don't know them a hole in the wall. They don't know me, but I just think it's something new. You know what I mean? Like, when's the last time we had a new brand of juice?
Right.
You know, besides Pepsi, Snap, or, you know, the regular stuff. You go any store in the world and you see the same things. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think people like change and something fresh and different. You know what I mean? So tap in with me, get them Beano lemonades, the orange, whatever. I'm gonna ship you out some too when we get back to the crib. I got you.
I was about to say I need to try this.
Yeah, I know.
I'll definitely, I'll fucking throw them in the videos and shit. Let the people.
Nah, hell yeah, for sure. I normally bring them bitches, but we wanted to go in Mexico starting off and shit, so I ain't even. It was too much fucking around, but.
No, you good.
I got you.
I'll definitely promote that shit.
Yeah, that's love, man. We the number one drink in the trenches for real, like.
Hell yeah. What are some other industries you want to jump into?
I'm a big fan of the E40s, the Nipsey Hussles, and the Master P's. So I kind of watch them, you know, recipes hustle, but the ideas and kind of the plans that they had, like I admire, you know what I mean. And with the drinks, I feel like we did something special. But I really want to make the Beano brand like a household name. You know what I mean? Whether it be the food industry we get into, whatever industry like we get into, I just want to make that brand huge. You know what I mean? I want to do movies. You know, that's something me and Losa spoke about several times, trying to get a film out there, trying to do some a small series and stuff like that. But we want to do everything, man. You know what I mean? We get one life. I want to try everything, even if it don't work. You know what I'm saying? But for sure, I want Beano's to be a household name.
That's dope. Okay. Where'd you get the name Beano, but also, you know, your rap name Q Gambino? So
the Q comes from my pops. My pop's name was Quest, but they call him Q for short.
Okay.
And the Gambino, I'm a big fan of like the mobsters. Particularly like the Gambino family is like one of my favorite mob families out there per se. But the head of it, his name was Carlo Gambino, and he was a quiet dude, but the feds couldn't get him because he didn't speak much. You know what I mean? But he was running everything. So I think he kind of like I resembled him in a way. So I kind of took the Gambino name from him because I felt like we had a lot of similarities. You know what I mean? Like we quiet, humble people, down to earth, but you know we run shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I got up with that.
That's dope.
And then the Beano for sure, everybody called me. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Who are some of your biggest influences, whether in music or not?
Definitely the Nipsey Hussle. You know, rest in peace to him. He was definitely one of my biggest influences as far as being a smart artist and understanding that it is the music business. Definitely the E40s, Master P's. Now, artist-wise, my biggest artist inspiration is Stack Bundles. Stack Bundles was out of Queens.
Yeah.
You know, rest in peace for him. He wound up getting gunned down tragically, but pretty much what he left here was incredible. You know what I mean? Like, he was one of the dopest artists coming out of New York, period. You know what I'm saying? I was a huge fan of him just because he talked the fly shit, he talked real shit, and he still lived in the trenches.
That's right.
You know what I mean? He still stood in the projects, and he didn't want to leave until he could get everybody out. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, you know, he didn't get to do it, but that shit right there, just like, yo, you talk all this shit, you fly, getting money, and you still there, like, I was like, yo, I could do it.
That's wild.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I could do it.
People would just be out. Like,
yeah, it's crazy, man. You had the opportunity, you know what I mean? But You know what I'm saying? So I kind of see myself in that same similarities, because I'm like, yo, we still there. You know what I mean? And then everybody looking at me like, shit, he next to go. You know what I mean? And even in the Nipsey approach, like, there's a vacant spot on my block, and I want that to be our store. You know what I mean? Like, I want that to be like a Muddy Mob store. And I want to have people come in there and pretty much get a taste of where we from with it. And we right down the block from the hood.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of want, like I was saying, like with the Bino's image, like I just want it to be big. You know, I want people to come to Brooklyn and hit Bino's spot. Yeah. Hit my block. You know what I mean? Everybody's good. Just come check it out. See where we from and shit like that. So.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? I definitely, like, what them guys did kind of inspired me in a crazy way. You know what I mean? Even in the motivational approach. That's why like, my music, everything is motivation. You know what I mean? They ask like, yo, how you did the drinks? Like, should I tell y'all? I didn't even want some giving away the sauce. Like, I want people to try to...
You gotta teach the game, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Go out there and really do something with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because with us, where we from, man, ain't no fucking way out. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate, but that's the reality. You know what I mean? So if we don't help each other, who gonna help us?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Would you rather stay signed, would you rather stay independent or get signed? I know we kind of spoke on it earlier.
Yeah, I think either way is good. You know what I mean? But I think more so for what I'm doing and just so much that we learned in the game, I think it's best for me to be independent. Mm-hmm. But depends on what stage I'm at. You know, if a label come around now and be like, all right, well, it might make sense. You know what I mean? Depending on what it say, it might make sense. If they come 2-3 years from now, nah. You know what I mean? Because I already see where we gonna be at.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's kind of easy to grab an artist when they don't really have no real direction or they don't know where they gonna be. Like, we know where we gonna be at. You know what I mean? It's just the stage that they come. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Shit, man. Couple more questions and we'll wrap it up. What's the first, you can only name one, first music video or first song that everyone should go check out after this interview?
It's definitely gonna have to be Nights on Boerum intro.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think with that one, it talks about kind of me as an artist, as far as where I come from, situations we grew from, and then just where we trying to go with it. You know what I mean? That's off the album Nights on Boerum. That first record intro, we got the video out. Shout out to Los, you know, he do all the videos, and that record right there is real. You know what I mean? It's one of those that you just play and you vibe and you feel what it is that we talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So definitely, if you got one joint that you got to run to right now, go check that one out. That shit is for the real. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Okay. And then last question, and then we'll get into shout outs. What's one piece of advice you could give any upcoming entrepreneur, any upcoming artist, even yourself looking back? Like, there's one piece of advice you could tell anyone, what would it be?
Believe in yourself. You know what I mean? If you don't believe in yourself, then you can't expect anyone else to believe in it for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I said, like we started off 30 deep. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you thinking this how it's gonna be every night, every time. You know what I mean? That's not the reality. Right. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be focused to go to them cities by yourself. If you don't got nobody going with you, you know, go to the studio by yourself. If you don't got nobody going with you, you know what I'm saying? If that's not the dedication you're gonna have, then don't even make sense shooting for it. You know what I'm saying? We learned the hard way. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got no time to be waiting for people. You know what I mean? You gotta go out and go get it.
No, that's real. All right, man. Well, shit, this has been a legendary interview. I appreciate you for coming on the show, man.
Thanks.
Shout out New York. I think, like I said, I think you're the first New York artist. I can't even. I may have interviewed a New York artist before, but I can't even think of it. So I appreciate you for making that connection. Where can people find you on social media? All that, man. Let them know.
Now, definitely. So you can find me at Q Gambino, QUEGAMBINO, man. Follow my dog Los. I am Young Los. Spell it out just like that, YUNG though. And man, we just working, man. We just dropped Basement. Shout out my dogs, Feek and Slim. That record going crazy right now. It's the new single off the album, Brioni. We only gonna drop in a couple weeks. Right now we on the first half tour. Next month we got another tour, that's the international side. And we just working, man. Tap in with us. Los working on a short film right now. Shout out AMN Dage, that's my brody. She about to drop soon. And we just out here working, man. Bino's Beverages, Bino's Drinks, man. The #1 drink in the trenches, man. Tap in with me. And anything, man. We outside with it, man. Double M shit, man. You feel me? And we out here kicking it with Mile High Minute in Denver. You feel me? All the way from Boerum Block, man. You dig?
Hell yeah, that's perfect, man. I was finna ask for a shout out, but that was it.
Yeah, I got you.
That's real. All
I
right,
feel you probably could cut it after and then drop however you want to do it.
That's what I'm finna do, man.
Alright, buddy.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you for coming on the show. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Comment down below who you want to see next in the Mile High Minute. Hit that subscribe button and hit that bell button to stay notified when all the latest news drops. Make sure y'all go follow Q Gambino. Go follow Los on everything. All links will be in the description of this interview. Make sure y'all go follow Mile High Minute on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all that, man. Mile High Minute, #1 podcast universe. We out. Appreciate you. Shout out New York. Denver to New York, man.